Every morning is an opportunity to connect with Jesus. Whether you're looking to get started or looking to grow more, DDPC is for you. Join us as we connect with Jesus together.
Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Daily Devotions with Pastor Chris. I am your host, Pastor Chris. And it is a joy to see you guys jumping on this morning. Thank you for being a part of this morning devotional. So many of you that are so faithful. Kate, good morning. Samantha Endress, Paula Lavish, Kathy Lakowski, Melissa Yerington, Susan Hotchkiss, CB Fur. Good morning, Sarah Carlack. Nice to have you on. All of you guys, ladies this morning. It's the ladies jumping on. Esther Grantham, good to see you. Andrew Lavish, there's the testosterone. Good to have some on with us this morning. God bless you, bud. Julie Chandler, hope you're feeling better. Praying for you as you're recovering. Melissa Morris, good to see you today. First one on the Facebook feed. Ben Smith, Diane Riley, God bless you. Eileen Toma, Marika, Attila, Elizabeth, Matt, Renee, Rocco, God bless you. Kim Zabrowski, Nancy Negron, Narda Allen, God bless you. Janie Baines, God bless you. Good to see you. This is Becky Rubino, good to see you. God bless you this morning. Welcome, 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 every one of you. Len Pace, Jean Hickman, Elizabeth Hibbard. God bless all of you guys, and I hope that you're having a great start to your Tuesday morning. Jenny Woot Woot Lynn just jumped on. Good to see you, Jenny. God bless you, and welcome. All right, well, people are still populating the feeds, and they're getting jumping on here and there, so we're going to wait just another about 30 seconds. Heather Onofrio just jumped on. Tanya Taylor just became part of the feed. Good to see you. Donna Sykes, my father, Michael Ray Willis, Stephen Olette, Anne-Marie Griffith, Joe Duhamel, Elizabeth Orlando. God bless all of you. Good to see you today. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. I just like to call you friend. All right. Well, let's see here. Let's get into this morning. Hey, what's up, Thomas? Thanks for being on. So, quick announcement. This coming Sunday, which is the 27th of March, is the first day of our 21 days of fasting and a corporate fast as we head into Easter, which is mind-blowing that we are just over 3 weeks from Easter weekend. It is crazy to think that, I mean, it seemed like winter, at least here in New England, it seemed like winter just went on and on and on and on, and all of a sudden spring hit yesterday, and it's like, boom, the tulips are coming up out of the ground, and the birds are singing. I see robins all over the place every morning. The bears are out turning over our trash cans, and Easter is here, man. It's just absolutely crazy. So if you're joining us for Easter, now, of course, we'll be live. We're live. All of our services are live streaming. But if you're in the area and you can be a part of our Easter celebration services, we are moving the services to the Wyndham Hotel. We're going to have one big Easter service at the Wyndham Hotel. We tried to get the high school again, but they're still COVID crazy over there. So they're not renting the space yet. But we're going to be at the Wyndham Hotel for Easter and for Good Friday. So make plans to be with us Good Friday and Easter at the Wyndham Hotel. One big service. It's going to be great. We're going to enjoy a wonderful time together as we celebrate the resurrection of Christ. And there's my buddy Scott Dobler. Scott, we've been praying for your family as you guys mourn your loss. Same with you, Timothy. Praying for you too as well. Rich Pasco, good to see you on this morning. God bless you, bud. Tony Fetchy, I see you on there. Good to see you, buddy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Kimmy Joan just jumped on Instagram a few minutes ago. But as we're leading up to Easter, we as a church always engage in a corporate fast, and we're going to be talking more about that as we get closer. But I wanted to challenge you, and I know many of you. We're doing a 40-day sugar fast at the church right now, and we're almost about 20 days into that. So I want to just encourage you, if you, whatever you're doing in terms of fasting, just remember it's not about the diet, it's not about the food as much as it is about the prayer. And so we really want to keep our prayers focused. I want to ask you to consider two things for this week. If you're part of our church body, you know that for the past 4 years, we have been working really, really hard on trying to acquire, well, we have acquired land, and we have started the process of getting approvals for expanding our building and putting up a new building. Our building is our biggest deterrent right now for growth. It's just simply, we're just simply using it way beyond our ability to. What in the world just happened? Hang on. I don't know why my radio just took off, and Sue is trying to call me on Instagram, so not really sure why. but in any case, we have a meeting with. Oh, there's no sound. You have still no sound on Instagram? I know there was no sound for a minute because my Spotify turned on. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down on Spotify. I need to know sound's back. Okay, yeah, it was just the radio. Thank you, guys. All right. So anyway, Thursday I have a call with or a meeting with the attorney and with the judge, and so we just need your prayers. What I don't know is, this is on the 24th, 10 o'clock in the morning. What I don't know is if this meeting is just a scheduling meeting or if they're actually going to try the hearing, if they're going to hear the arguments. That remains to be seen. I will know more as we get closer, but pray for breakthrough. Pray for breakthrough. We need to get past our inland wetlands denial so we can move into planning and zoning and start getting this building approved. So if you guys be in fasting and prayer for that. So if you haven't already started fasting, if you would consider fasting at least a day or a meal this week and just spend some time and just pray and lift up Cornerstone Church and pray for the favor of God to rest on that meeting. I really hope to have an amazing report on Sunday. I just don't know exactly what the context of the meeting is going to be with the judge. So praying for that. Okay. A bunch of you jumped on. I can't even keep up now. Cheryl, Soka, Deb Click, Eileen's on now. God bless you. Sandy Ams, Kathy Lakowski, I see on here. Others have also jumped on. So if I missed you, I apologize. But let's get into the lesson today. So I want to talk to you about rocket fuel. There's a guy in the Bible named King Jehoshaphat. And it's a really cool name to say, Jehoshaphat. And there's a period of time in Israel's history where they have what's called the divided monarchy or the split kingdom. So they end up having a king of Israel and a king over Judah. And so Jehoshaphat becomes the fourth king over Judah. And you see his story all throughout 1 Kings in the Bible, around 21, 22, and into 23 chapters. And so if you read the Bible and you read about the kings of Israel post Solomon, you start seeing that they did evil in the sight of the Lord. They did evil in the sight of the Lord. They did evil in the sight of the Lord. They did evil in the sight of the Lord. And they just didn't lead well. And in 1 Kings chapter 22 and verse 42, it tells us that King Jehoshaphat was 35 years old when he began his reign. He ruled over Judah for 25 years, from 873 to 848 BC. This is undisputed. This is in history. We know that this happened. Now, as I mentioned, many kings did evil on the side of the Lord, but Jehoshaphat was kind of this breath of fresh air. And he was a king who came in, and at least in the beginning of his reign, he did what was spiritually pleasing before the Lord. He did positive things before the Lord. In 2 Chronicles chapter 17, verse 3 through 6, I want to read this to you because this is listen, the reason why kings did evil in the sight of the Lord, the number one reason is because they disobeyed the number one commandment of the Ten Commandments. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. You shall have no engraven images. You shall not bow to idols or to images or to anything else. God needs to be preeminent in your life. He's an all-in God, and he expects all-in worship. And that is the epitome, the crux, the pinnacle of relationship with the Lord, is that he is preeminent in your life. And from the highest levels of leadership, they were just blindly, and not blindly, purposely looking the other way. And so Jehoshaphat comes along, and he begins to tear down these items of worship. They're called the Baals and the Asherahs. They were poles that they would put on high places, and they did all kinds of sexual rituals around them and things. And so it says this in 2 Chronicles chapter 17, verse 3. It says, the Lord was with Jehoshaphat because he followed the ways of his father David before him. He did not consult the Baals, which, by the way, are demons. You know, when you talk about like other gods and the power of other religions, this is demonic. These are demons that are behind these facades. But in any case, he did not consult with the Baals, but sought the God of his father and followed his commands rather than the practices of Israel. So the Lord established the kingdom under his control, and all of Judah brought gifts to Jehoshaphat so that he had great wealth and honor, and his heart was devoted to the ways of the Lord. Furthermore, he removed the high places and the Asherah poles from Judah. And it goes on and talks about what happened as he did this. In addition to tearing down these things, then Jehoshaphat sends this coalition, right? He sent men throughout the kingdom to teach people about the law of God because they have gotten away from it. In 2 Chronicles 17, verse 7 through 9, it says, in the third year of his reign, he sent his officials, Ben-Hail, Obadiah, Zechariah, Nathaniel, and Micaiah, to teach in the towns of Judah. With them were certain Levites, Shimei, Nethaniah, Zebediah, Asael, Shemarath, Jehonathan, Adonijah, Tobiajan, and Tobo-Adonijah, and the priest Elishama and Jehoram. Verse 9, they taught throughout Judah, taking with them the book of the law of the Lord, and they went around all the towns of Judah and taught the people. And so in addition to tearing down all these demonic temples and places of worship to false gods, he then sent this coalition of priests and prophets out into Judah and all throughout the land and taught the people the laws of God. And if you read all throughout 2 Corinthians 17, you see that under King Jehoshaphat's leadership, he also had military strength. You see, when you become strong spiritually, you become strong physically. There is a direct connection here. When your spirit is intact, your physical body follows suit. Jehoshaphat fortifies the defenses primarily against the northern kingdom of Israel. We see that in verses 1 through 3. So the surrounding nations began to fear Judah, and so instead of fighting against them, they brought tribute to them. And I just want to say, you know, like and I don't want to get too political here, because but what I will tell you that a lot of the reason why we're seeing what we're seeing in Ukraine right now is because the leaders of this superpower, the United States, have exhibited weakness. They've bowed to the influence of a few, and so as a result, or to a special interest or whatever, and so as a result, we have backpedaled, and the enemy sees weakness and they take advantage of it. And that's what was happening in Jerusalem and in Israel and in Judah back in that day. For many, many years, for a few hundred years, the kings were weak. The leadership was weak. They didn't exhibit strength. They exhibited anything but strength, and they just tried to appease people instead of creating boundary and creating and establishing what the solid foundation of God's law. And so as a result, the enemy had an opportunity to come in, infiltrate, and actually twist the mind. What, in kind of back to our series that we've been on Sundays, he changed the playlist. And so people just saw all this power that was being celebrated. And even though many of them might have known the truth of God, they just felt too powerless to do anything about it. Until finally Jehoshaphat comes along and he's like, no, we're going to make some radical changes. And in a way, that's kind of what Trump did when he came into office. And I know that he did it like a bull in a china shop, but he came in and he tore down some Baals, and he tore down some Asherah poles, and he established some things, and we saw the energy independence and all those things, and when that happened, what in turn happened was other world leaders around us feared the United States. There's no fear of the United States any longer because our leadership has turned back to the way it was. So there's some parallels what I'm showing you here in Scripture. But so things for Jehoshaphat are they're going pretty great, and he is obedient to the Lord, and the Lord just continues to bless him and bless Judah. And so now his enemies want to be his friends, and everybody wants to get along with Judah because they see that the favor of God is on Judah. And there's so much more we could talk about during King Jehoshaphat's reign. But what I wanted to highlight was one thing, and it's going to kind of springboard into tomorrow's lesson. As Judah continues to get stronger and stronger and wealthier and more fortified, the more powerful that Jehoshaphat became, he began, and this is where I want you to kind of apply this to your own life. The more powerful, the more independent, the more strength he began to exhibit, the more you have to challenge yourself to realize that this is not because of my own doing. The strength that people see in me, the fear that people have of whatever, the blessings that are all around us, they're not because we're great. They're because we're obedient. And because we're obedient, God exhibits his greatness through us. You see, many leaders before Jehoshaphat felt that any favor or advantage that they had must have been because they were great leaders. And then you become prideful, and you begin to think it's all about you, and you feel like that you're irreplaceable. And God had to humble them over and over again. But the truth is that God is the God who keeps his promises, right? He promised to bless the 12 tribes of Israel and make them prosper. And so when a king was obedient and honored God, that threw rocket fuel on the blessings of God. And so my challenge to you today is that you do the same thing. You know, if you want to, listen, there's a lot of people, you have successes in your life, and some people think, oh, look, we got a great family, and that's because I'm great, because I did this, and I sacrificed that. And maybe you did make some great sacrifices. Or maybe you have a very lucrative business, that you built from the ground up, and it's real easy to lean back on your laurels and say, oh, well, look what I did. That's what other kings, and I believe Solomon did that. Nebuchadnezzar looked over the land away and it said, look at all that I have done, right? And we begin to feel like it's our doing, but when we stop and we just are thankful to the Lord for all that he's done in us and through us, and we recognize that he's the source of our strength, and he's the source of our favor, and he's the source of our protection, and he's the source of our future, then what that does is it just opens up our soul for more and more blessing, for God to fill us more and more. And so God is gracious, and he's merciful, and he blesses us so often, and he loves us despite ourselves. And when we turn our hearts toward him and have quick obedience to his leading, it puts rocket fuel in your life. It launches you into the stratosphere, man. When we listen and obey, when we seek wisdom from the Lord and direction, and we obey it, when we remember that it's not our kingdom, it's not my wealth, it's not my success, it's not my talent, it's not my plan or my strategy, it's his, and I just get the privilege to be a part of a much bigger picture, then man, that just launches you. It just sends you sailing, and people see that. They admire that. And it's not necessarily that they think you're great. It's that they're just so moved by what God's been able to do through you. So today, before you get up and leave, maybe some of you are already on your way to work, but before you get going today, just challenge you to turn your eyes upon Jesus. And then buckle in, because you're pouring rocket fuel on your commitment to him. And you will be amazed. I mean, make the bold steps to tear down some things in your life that have become little gods. Make the bold steps to sever things that need to be severed, and to strengthen things that need to be strengthened. Make the bold steps to position everything in your life to be obedient to the will of God in your life. And when you do that, you will see that God will respond, and he will respond with rocket fuel. So I pray that that's a blessing to you, and that it encourages you in some way, gives you wisdom in your day today, and helps you to make right choices. Because I'll tell you, the temptations are fierce and they are frequent, but God is faithful. And so go out there and live with some rocket fuel. All right, that's what I got for you today. And tomorrow we're going to kind of tee up why this was important and how Jehoshaphat did that. So, all right, God bless you. Take care. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. God bless.